Hi there, it's Jo here from Creative Empowerment. I am making a pick a card video today which is all about the full moon in Taurus. Taurus is a sign about the earth. It's an earth sign. It's very grounded, or it wants us to be very grounded. It can be really stubborn, you know, if you think of that bull, which is kind of locking horns with people. So we want to have a look at the things that might be surfacing for us around the time of the full moon in Taurus. And Taurus is my rising sign, so I really kind of identify with Taurus qualities, and I can be quite stubborn, as a lot of people will tell you. But there are some really great qualities to Taurian energy as well. So let's have a look at where those energies are coming up for you at the time of the full moon. And maybe it might be that you want to release some of that stubbornness and let go of the things that you're hanging on to. So join me for a pick a card reading. If you are new to pick a card readings, I'll step you through that. They're just behind me. So I'm going to jump straight into it. So if you're new to pick a card readings, what you're being asked to do is use your intuition, use your third eye, and to choose one of the piles in front of you. So we have 3 piles that represent different energies, different experiences, guidance and insights to the upcoming full moon. So we have the first pile, pile 1, with beautiful desert rose and you know, the combination of selenite in there. We have blue canite and pile 2, and then pile 3, I actually don't remember what this beautiful heart is. It could be a type of agate. Yeah, I think it might be a type of agate, but I'm not sure which one. So that's pile 3. So use your intuition, allow yourself to, you know, take a few breaths and choose. And sometimes you may feel like you're drawn to the crystal, but you're drawn to a different pile. And maybe that means that you need to listen to pile 2 and pile 3. You know, let your intuition guide you. So if you like pick a card readings, I do 1 a week now. I'm changing my channel slightly so that I can incorporate some other things that I really enjoy doing, such as some reviews of oracle cards, as well as walking you through, talking about how to use oracle cards, things that I really enjoy. So if you like any of those things, then please subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. So now when you're ready and you've chosen your pile, you can go ahead to the timestamps below and you can watch your specific reading for the full moon in Taurus. Hi, pile 1, if you picked the desert rose or the selenite, this is your, or desert selenite. This is a new crystal for me, and it's not one that I'm really that familiar with, but it's about bringing clarity of thought. I think it's also an anti-anxiety, or, you know, it reduces anxiety. But it's also about stimulating vitality and you know, unrestricting energy is sort of how I'm feeling about this particular crystal. So let's see how that relates to your reading today, because generally I find that the crystal has some input, and the energy of the crystal is important for the reading. So today we've got 2 animal cards to start off your reading. We have Scarab Beetle Spirit, magic works through you. And then we have Chameleon Spirit. Now these are both brightly coloured animal spirit cards. And today I've been called to bring a lot of animal spirits into the messages for this full moon in Taurus at this time of year. So I don't know why, but let's find out. But the thing that I'm really noticing about both of these cards is how brightly coloured they are. And it feels like you are coming into a period where you're going to shake up your energy, where you're going to let loose, where you're going to start living a bit differently. Maybe that be through exercise. It might be through diet and exercise. It might be through expression, through movement. So the cards, I didn't read this bit to you, but magic works through you. But the thing that I'm really being drawn to is this radiating orange kind of pinky energy that's around the Scarab Beetle Spirit. And to me, it's about vitality, it's about health, it's about strength, all the things that I mentioned, or some of the things I mentioned. about the selenite rose or the desert rose. And it feels, this almost feels like a coat of arms to me, and it's kind of like, it's either like you're changing to become more of who you are, or you're establishing a new way of being in your life. So around the time of the full moon, this is the energies that are coming up for me. And so magic works through you. That's the wording that this card has been given, and this card adds up to a 7, which is definitely a magical number. But it feels like you're really letting go of some old stuff and reinventing yourself. And the chameleon spirit card again speaks to that. Act as if. It's really showing that you're changing, that you're going through a time of change, that you're changing your colours, your spots, whatever you'd like to call it. But I really also want you to see this coat of arms and whatever that means for you, because I feel that the way that I'm being given those words by Spirit, that's really important to you, that your coat of arms is either changing or you're re-establishing that link. And so that could be to a family, it could be to a type of heredity. I can't even say the word, but like your hereditary instincts, it's funny when you can't say the words, but you know the word and you use it, but you can't say it. But it's you're re-establishing a link to an older part of yourself, and it's in your hereditary. I just can't say it. It's not your family link, because that's not the right way of saying it. It is quite an ancient link for you, and I'm not going to say the word again because I'll make myself laugh, and it's good. And you can see that there is a lot of brightness coming in here, and it feels for me like you're tying up loose ends. So this is a thing that's happening at the moment. You're tying up some loose ends of things that you have been completing, that you've actually spent at least this last 10 months completing, which is very specific. You are changing. You are merging into something else. Now, when we're going through a change can be quite uncomfortable for some, not for all, but for some people, change is very uncomfortable. I know for me that I find change quite challenging, but for you may not find change uncomfortable. But I'm feeling that perhaps you're a little bit like me, and that change is a bit of a challenge. And that's okay. When we know what we're going through, which is what Spirit wants us to do, Spirit wants us to understand, because then it can help us move through these changes in a more comfortable way. But having said that, it's not always meant to be comfortable. We are meant to move through different experiences our Spirit wants us to move through, to help us grow. That's why we came here. So I want to go to this side, which feels like the present. I was going to say the past, but then Spirit gave me a different particular way of talking about it. And we have Dolphin Spirit, and this is that fun energy. This is that lightness. This is where you're moving to, and this wonderful sense of fun here, lightness of spirit, color, energy, movement, vitality, all of those things. And Dolphin Spirit is about play, but it's also about an energetic level of a high vibration. So dolphins, use their telepathic kind of communication. Well, it's not really, it's sonar, and that's probably a form of it. But they have that extra sensory power. So they have a sense of ESP. And for me, I feel like you're lightening your load, and this type of energy is coming in for you. This lightness of being is coming in for you. And I just want to keep repeating those words, because you may not have felt this lightness of being. You may not be experiencing it right now, but it is coming. If you don't feel it yet, it is coming for you very, very, very soon. You may want to get yourself a piece of desert rose and help bring in that clarity of mind. The magic prayer. I'm going to bring this closer because it's a little bit over there and you can't see it. So here we have, you know, the idea of you using the law of attraction, the idea of prayer, or setting intentions, which is a great time. You know, new moon, full moon. Full moon is a time to release generally, and new moon time to set intentions. However, if you're called to do those in the opposite way, I always feel you go with what you know, your higher self is giving you the green light for. This is a green light for you to use magic, intention, prayer, whatever it is that fits with your version of, you know, of asking for a higher power to help you. And this feels really light for me. This idea for you feels quite easy, feels like you'll be really quite comfortable doing that. And when it's next to this extrasensory sort of card with the dolphin, it feels like, you know, again, this lightness of being. And it's kind of like lightening you up because it's you realizing that that this change is important, that this change is happening, and that these light energies are coming in for you. So it's like, you know, when you learn something and you go, oh my goodness, why have I been doing it this way all along? Because I could have been doing it so much lighter. I could have been using these things that I know make me feel happy. I could have been doing that all along. So this is your new way of being. And we're hearing, you know, some things like that at the moment. And I really don't want to make you connect it to that because that's not the way this is about. Anyway, let's move on. So we've got, this is sort of like the spiritual energies underneath this movement that's happening for you in your everyday life. And these are very beautiful, high vibration, full of vitality and energy cards. So let's have a look at these spiritual underpinnings, or the things that are happening in the background that you may not be seeing. You will get where you are going, and you will get, you know where you are going and you will get there. Now, if you have a look, and it says salmon is about determination. I'll bring it up closer. I'm pretty sure you can see it, but this card is sitting underneath magic works through you. You do know where you're going. You do have all of this underpinning, these beliefs. And again, I want to talk about the law of attraction here because you actually understand how magic works, because deep down, even if you're not doing it yet, you know that the things that you want in life, you are able to achieve. And you also know that the things you don't want in life, that you obsess over, you bring into your life. So it's kind of like this is being shown to you at this time because they want you to understand that you're actually quite a gifted manifester, and your manifestations need to be carefully looked at and carefully processed, you know, not just thoughts for that, you know, monkey mind that keeps going. Anyway, let's get back to the cards. You know where you're going and you will get there. Those words are very, very determined. Now, if you have a look at salmon, salmon looks like it's going backwards. Salmon wants to go that way and backwards. But if we have a look what that's leading to in this reading, it is leading you back to this lightness of energy, this ESP, this high vibration, through fun and excitement, through prayer, through asking for things that you want from those other dimensions, from the divine. And it may look like you're going backwards. And this card is talking about you going back through your hereditary. My goodness, you know what I'm saying. But this card is actually underpinning this going backwards. So for you, going forwards may look like you're you know, digging through some old stuff, and that's okay. We have chameleon spirit, which we talked about, is about change and movement, and it's acting as if you're already somewhere. You know who you are, I suppose, is a way of saying it. We have bear, and it's about boundaries and standing your ground. Now, bear here looks to me like a bit sad, and our boundaries are formed in our lungs. In Chinese medicine, they talk about, for me, I feel like there's an element of sadness because you're going through a change, perhaps because you're reviewing some of these older ways that your family history, you may have uncovered some things about your family history or about your lineage or descendants, you know, like it's your ancestors. Here, you're being asked to let that go, to not ignore it, but to acknowledge it and then set your own boundaries through this changing time. And when you're undergoing change, you do want to do it in a really informed way, in a really aware way. We have this energy of the oyster, and this is one of my favorite cards from this deck. It is about the promise within, the things that you hold inside that you're working on, that you're getting ready to show the world. If you have a look at this wonderful card and see all this light shining from within, and it shows the growth that the oyster's been through, you know, how it's got bigger and grown older and wiser and stronger, all those things. And this card is wanting to tell you about how you're getting ready to show the world this change, this new you, this upgraded version of who you are. And then this card here is talking to you about your fears. Track down your fears and desires. And it's doing so from a very strong standpoint, from a warrior standpoint, from a hunter, not from the scared, you know, the scared little part of you. This hunter is embracing your inner warrior, your inner being, and coming from that point of view. And it's like looking those fears straight in the eye and basically letting them know that it's time, you know, that it's like last drinks. You've had your last hurrah. And then also looking at your desires. Now, I've brought in a card for moving forward for you at the time of the full moon in Taurus, and it's all about releasing, which makes total sense. It's about, and to me, it feels like you're releasing things into the fire, you know, and we have this stuff about vitality, about strength, about health, about your personal power, and also your own sort of like the energetics in your body, which a lot of these cards speak about in a more of a subtle way. You know, Dolphin is about that ESP. This is about the power of prayer. This is about magic, and this is about that change. So there's a lot energetically moving through you at this time. And this card wants you to let go of anything that you're hanging on to. A great practice at the time of the full moon is to write down what it is that is coming up for you. And in that way, we release it. So talk about what is coming up for you through this period of change. What is it that keeps coming up? Is it a song? Is it a reference? Is it a persistent thought? Whatever it is, you know, note it down. You can burn it if you like to. You know, look, the power of using practices that help us, you know, visually, emotionally cleanse is very powerful at the time of the full moon. So release what it is that you want to get off your chest, that you want to you know, powerfully let go. And so that all parts of you, energetic, mentally, spiritually, physically, that everything lets go. And then maybe you do, you know, have a lovely salt bath or some other way that you find very cleansing, a walk in nature, a walk at the beach, you know, whatever that is. But this is telling you that to balance yourself at this time of this Taurus new moon, full moon, it is about releasing whatever it is that's coming up through this process that you are going on. It is a time of release for you. And that's perfect for the full moon. Perfect time to release and let go. There's so much happening for you at this time. And this feels more like it's a summing up for you. Like you've been moving through this change for, and I'm really picking up that whole 10. So it feels like 10 months to me. It could be 10 years for some of you. It doesn't feel that long, but it could definitely be a longer time frame. It's time to release some of the things that are coming up for you. You are going through an intense time of change, but you really are starting to feel the benefits of all of the work that you're doing on yourself. You're feeling lighter. The change is starting to feel like the new you. You are redeveloping, reigniting, reconnecting with an older part of your family history. And I just felt like my whole body just grounded then, which is a really beautiful feeling. Instead of being scattered and, you know, all in the air. I've really enjoyed this reading for you. I found it very, the energies that are coming up for you are really different to a lot of the picker cards I've been doing lately. So maybe for... this is the first one, so I don't know what the others are going to bring up. But for you, you're going through, or you've been through a time of intense change, and magic is starting to show itself in your life. And all of the things that you've been doing are starting to show on that physical plane. There's still work to be done. There's a lot to release and a great time for you to do it. But you're getting really close to letting the world see all this change. If you're not already, you might be, you know, letting this out already. I've enjoyed this reading for you. I hope you have. If you have, please let me know in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this reading. I will see you again in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile 2. If you picked the blue canite, which is, you know, obviously about expression, the throat chakra, then this is your reading today. And I always like to think about how this crystal that you've chosen comes into the reading. I always find that it does in some way. So your first 2 cards are Coyote Spirit, Trust in Divine Detours. That's a really interesting card to start with. And then you have White Raven Spirit, Trust in the Magic. So some really interesting, you've got lots of 6s going on there too. Okay, so these cards together are quite an interesting energy that's coming up for you at the time of the full moon in Taurus. It talks to you about being led astray, but it's divinely being led and asking you to trust in this magic. And I always kind of think that the white raven looks a little bit like a baby where, you know, it's not quite yet formed. And so it's kind of like, even though you may not trust the outside appearance of this energy, you're being asked to by spirit. And that's really summing up the 2 cards here and their combined meaning to you. Trust in divine detours. It may look like you are going down a rabbit hole, but trust that you're going to be guided and that you're going to find or encounter the experiences that you need. So let's have a look at your other cards to see what this is all about for you at this time of, at the time of the Taurus full moon. Oh, have Fox coming in. Oh, and my energy is really just kind of coming right down. So I'm not really sure what that's about for you or about you. And this is funny because I'm setting these cards up so differently from the first card. If you may have watched both, you may notice that. It's quite interesting because, yeah, it's interesting to see how the cards come out and how they want to come out, or Spirit wants me to put them out. So we talked about on a physical level, we have this trust in divine, trust the magic. So like big issues around trust. You may be somebody who actually has these issues about trust. You may find it difficult to trust, and that's exactly why these messages are coming up to you. I'm going to talk about the energy underpinning these things at the moment. And again, my energy feels like it's really plummeting. It's really diving. So So it's going deep. I think that's the message that I'm getting here. Wishing well. And this is talking about your desires, about what you want from the situation that you're experiencing at the moment. So at the time of the full moon, for you, what's coming up is this idea of your desires. You're desiring something to manifest in your life, and Coyote Spirit is coming in with the wanting you to trust, wanting you to see that no matter what it is that's coming up, and it's a little bit like I talked about up here, which is this, whatever it is that you may see, you may instantly think, that is not what I want, that is not what I desire, that is not what I'm asking for. And Spirit really wants to send you a message, which, you know, the birds are messengers, sorry. Birds are messengers from Spirit. And they want you to know that whatever it looks like, which is this form here, it is not what it appears. What you're asking for, they're going to give you what it is you need. Not what you want, it's going to be what you need for your journey ahead. This may show up as a divine detour, not maybe. This is showing up as a divine detour. You are not to be discouraged because what you're asking for does not look like it is appearing, because its looks can be deceiving. And this is this message here coming in. We have dove energy below the magic, trusting the magic. Slow down, pause and breathe. And this is again the messenger. You may start seeing white birds because you have 3 of them in this reading. You have 3 white birds. There's no, there's a strong message there for you. We have a lot of animal energy. Spirit, wanted a lot of animal energy to come into this reading today. So you may start seeing white doves, white swans, white birds. And they want you to slow down. They want you to pause. They want you to, to relax and to understand that whatever it is that's coming up is perfect. Whatever it is that feels like it's not quite right, it actually is. Trust. Trust this magic. Slow down. Be in this energy. Because when you are, that's the thing that's going to transform whatever it is that you're desiring. So we have Swan. And these energies feel like they're the past for you. In the last reading, they weren't. That they were the present. But for you, this is actually the present. It's quite active. But this is the past for you. And you have Swan energy. And Swan is gliding across the water, seeing their own reflection, being quite confident in who they are. And I'm seeing the twin energies here. I'm seeing this twin energy. So perhaps you have met your twin flame. You are a twin. There is a part of something going on here in your past that is about a twin. And I'm not exactly sure because there's going to be multiple reasons why that's showing up for people. However, it's a mirrored energy too. So whoever is showing up in your past as a twin, and it can be the twin flame, it can be you're an actual twin, not for many of you, obviously. It may be that you have a friend who the two of you are so alike and that you see each other mirrored back to each other. That's this energy that I'm being directed to here. And it's like your mirror is missing or gone or is not as active for you at this period of time. This feels quite singular. So in the past, you've had someone to mirror back to you, to see things differently, but in a really, in a real measured way, not in a real reflective way, is what I'm being told. Not in a way that person excites you or makes you think, goes into a combative way. This person really helped you. And I don't know, this energy feels like at the moment you're not connected to that energy. Maybe you've had a falling out. Maybe you're not seeing eye to eye. Maybe this person is just unavailable. But again, we have this twin energy that's coming to me because of the way things are reflected. This talks about an illusion. You know who you really are. And I feel like because this energy is not in your life at the moment, and that could be temporary for some of you, but for some of you it might be that that's final, that there's quite a distinction in that energy. And maybe for some of you, you're not ready to let go of that yet. And it feels so deep to me, what's happening for you in your life at the moment. But it's, you know who you really are. Even when you're on your own, you're going to be able to do this, which is why this detour is coming in, why this belief that your desires, you think your desire is what you need, and Spirit wants you to know that they're looking after you, regardless of what it is you think you're seeing in your life. So this is a change in who you are, and this is what you're experiencing at present, and it doesn't look that pretty to you at this point in time. So full moon is a great time to release some of these thoughts and feelings, you know, on paper, different ways of doing it, speaking it, singing it, whatever you want to do. Fox is a really interesting energy coming in here because this is really self-assured. Fox is a bright energy, and we can think when Fox is in the reverse, it's, you know, that cunningness, and it's kind of like a deceptive energy. This doesn't feel like that for you. We've got quite a lot of golden kind of colours here. This feels like to me that you're coming into knowing who you actually really are. And it feels good. And so perhaps for some of you, you've had to let go of or put some distance in a relationship that in the past, well, what they want me to tell you is kept you stuck, but it was mutually beneficial to both of you while it was happening. But what they want you to know is that in a way that kept you stationary and not moving. And my stomach feels kind of ill when I'm talking about that because perhaps you don't want to hear that. And this wishing well, it feels like you're going back to it because you want it to be how it was in the past. Well, your divine messengers really want you to experience something totally different. And for me, it doesn't feel like a long time frame for you to move into this. This feels like it's happening at the present. You may not enjoy it while it's happening, but your shift to move into this more confident, more owning your own stuff. This feels, you know, it's not a great journey from here to here. And then we have the last card here, which talks about this time frame that you're moving into, and it's trader. Exchange energy to create abundance. And this card to me feels kind of interesting. It feels like you're moving into a new way of behaving in the world, of trading in the world, of understanding how if you're mirrored exactly to somebody, there's no movement, there's no progression because it's too similar. Whereas when you're on your own and you're this bright light, you have something to share with others. And this is where you feel like you're moving into this space of sharing your gifts with others. Some really beautiful energy and some very open energy, some real, an exchange of gifts. It's kind of not the exact wording of this card, but it feels like that's what this is about. And it feels very humble. It feels very gentle, very warm. Like there's so many beautiful things about what or who you're turning into. It's a beautiful energy that you're moving into. Now, the last card that I have for you is about the future. It is about, it's not the next moon phase, but it's more so the next few months for you. And it's hope. And it's about really understanding who you are as a person. I'm really being drawn to the solar plexus, because it's like she's pushing her solar plexus forward, but not in a way because she's projecting outwards, but because she's so strong and solid in who she is. And that to me feels like this golden energy of the fox. It feels like these energies are quite linked, because this gaze of the fox is very soft and delicate. Her gaze is a bit more assertive, but it's like combined, they both give off this. She is still a warrior. Yemaya is still a warrior, but she's not engaged in actual physical contact. She's showing sort of more strength and movement forward, and her ability to believe in herself. And the word hope is that, so that you understand that this experience that that's happening with you now, there is trust and hope, because you don't want to lose hope because of this experience that you've let go of, or you're feeling the loss of something or someone who was very, very close to you. Don't lose hope and feel like the future isn't going to be as bright, because these cards here are talking to you about a bright future. They are a golden future happening for you, but in a very different way for you. So, you know, Spirit wants to talk to you about this desire that you have of moving backwards and moving back into this quite stagnant energy for you. Is not where you are needed, is not where you're going to get the fruits of your labour. You're not going to move forward, and you're not going to be able to give things to people unless you actually move through this energy. And I feel like you will. I feel like you just needed to hear it again. I feel like you knew all of this anyway, but you needed to hear it. And it feels like it's, like I said, it feels very, very deep for you. It's been a really interesting message for you today. I hope this makes sense for you. I hope this message is actually re-clarifying for you what you know is happening in your life. The time of the full moon in Taurus is a great time to let go of that stubbornness of wanting things that we know aren't actually right for us, because they felt good and safe and we knew where we were with those things. So if you've enjoyed this reading today, please let me know in the comments below. Please like and share if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more pick a card readings and other oracle videos. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you again in the next reading. Bye. Hi there, pile 3. If you chose this beautiful agate heart, and agate's a really good all-round stone for grounding, for, you know, thinking clearly, for lots of other things. Let's have a look at how the agate may, you know, come into your reading today. So we have 2 animal spirit energies to start off, and just looking at the colours and the way the cards have come out, they feel very yin and yang. They feel like there's one, they're kind of, I want to say, polar opposites of each other. And that's not even looking at the cards, that's just the energies of the colours and the way they're presenting. So for you at the moment, you may be experiencing time of complete opposites, of ups and downs, of balance, imbalance. You know, like there may be extremes happening in your life right now. So let's have a look at what these cards refer to. Otter spirit is talking about you never being alone. Now, otters are very playful, loving, tender, and you can see they're forming a heart. You also picked a heart today, so that's an interesting relationship there. And perhaps for you, it is time. Perhaps at the time of the full moon in Taurus, it is about your relationship, and that is what is going up and down. Perhaps that's the thing that is not in balance at the moment. And this card is Crow Spirit, which is very regal and talks about co-creating with spirit. However, it is in the reverse, which to me talks of you being out of balance in your co-creation, and that linking to a relationship card, or the feeling that I'm getting is that your relationship is out of balance at the moment. Also, so this can be your relationship to your partner, to a family member, at work. This could also be with the divine. So it doesn't have to be a intimate relationship. It can be open to many more options is what I should say. So let's put out your other cards and see what else. Oh my goodness, the black egg. Wow. Whoa. Great card for you to, where do we want to put this one? Strength reversed. Interesting. Giraffe is about foresight. You are able to see what is in store for the future. Black Panther. Look at the black energies here. Very yin and yang. What's happening for you at the moment? I'm just going to move them to the side a bit more. Okay, so I am feeling this is very relationship based, this reading for you, and I feel like there's a real imbalance, and I don't know if that's for everybody who's listening to this, because the imbalance may not be extreme for some people. For others, it may be more fiery is probably what I want to say, but I'm feeling this very much of this earthy colours here. So this is all very reds and oranges and even a pinky colour, and this card is mirroring these energies so closely that I feel that's extremely important for you, and it really wants me to talk about your lower two chakras. So in the yogic tradition, or I think it's called Muladhara. I should know this because I've been working on my own base chakra at the moment. But it's really talking about that. And so if we think about the base chakra, it's about, finances. It's about our home. It's about our relationship. It's also about sexual relationships, physical movement, and also food. So there's a lot of stuff here. But it does feel like it's about so the words I'm getting are movement around your relationship. And I don't know if that means physical movement. For some of you, it might mean that. But for a lot of you, it means that the relationship is moving. And for some of you, there's a lot of fear around that idea, which is why you're getting that message, you're never alone. So these energies here are the physical, what's happening, what you can see. And here, this is how spirit guides me. Everybody reads these things differently. For me, this is the spiritual energies that are underpinning what's happening on that physical level. And you have giraffe and foresight. You are able to see what is in store for the future. Now that whole idea can sometimes, or can be both, frightening and really good. We like the idea that we can see the future. But if you're experiencing a really rough time in your relationship, if there's movement here, you may be seeing something you don't want to see. And for a lot of you, I feel like there's that element coming in. So giraffe for us normally is talking about us being able to get above a situation, which is kind of what you need to do. But also that may bring information to you that you may not want to see. So Spirit is kind of talking to you about that at the moment, that there may be things you don't want to see here. Now, normally I would go over here, but at the moment I'm coming to this central energy first. So Black Panther is talking about passion, follow your passion. We have this, I talked before at the very start of this reading about yin and yang. So this darkness here, the dark bird and feline energy that we've got, they're representing something in you. So Black Panther is feline, so it's talking about, again, we're talking about yin. So in Chinese medicine, or in the Taoist tradition, we have white is represented by yang and light, and then the darkness is actually the yin. So it feels like your yin is out of balance, because the crow spirit is talking about co-creating with spirit. And at the moment, it feels like you're angry at spirit. It feels like you're like, well, I'm turning my back on spirit. I'm turning my back on my higher self, my, you know, that all-knowing, all-seeing higher mind or higher energy, because I'm a bit pissed off with what's happening here. I don't trust this anymore because of what's happening in this relationship. And here we have that the spiritual side, or the spirit, or the unseen energy is your own passion. And it feels like, to me, that this is the thing that's underpinning this movement in the relationship. Your own passion for your own life is the thing that's changing this. And for some of you, this may mean a termination of this relationship or this partnership, or whatever it is, whatever way this is for you, whatever that experience is. It may mean a termination because you're following your own passion. For others of you, this is you asserting yourself, because this is the yin that's out of balance, right? So it's kind of like you're letting somebody, the balance of power is wrong in the relationship. I suppose that's the best way of saying it. So here, whatever's happening for you at the time of this full moon, it's like the full moon is shining a big, big light on it for you. So there may be some really uncomfortable feelings in this relationship. There may be the foresight that this has to change. You may need to follow your own passions to bring this relationship with spirit back into balance, so that you can trust whatever it is that's happening. But some very big themes coming up for you in your life at this time. Now, I'm being drawn to the black egg, because the black egg is one of the, like, these cards are such high vibrational energy, they're spirit energy. And at the moment, I said before that you may even be turning your back on spirit energy because you may be a bit pissed off. And I keep wanting to use the same word, and I try not to swear too often, but it is the word that I'm being guided to use, because you'll identify with it. So the black egg talks of the promise, talks about what's inside. And this here, these two things feel very linked. This co-creation with spirit, your passion, this is what I feel like you're ignoring, or what you have been ignoring in the past. You have been putting your own desires, your own needs, your own passion, you've been putting it in a little box and putting it up on a shelf to subjugate yourself. Gee, that's a big word, but it's the word that wanted to come out. Yeah, to put yourself last is really what Spirit wants you to know, and Spirit wants you to know that this is being seen. This is why your relationship with Spirit is not that great at the moment, because you're not trusting that there is a reason why you're experiencing what you're experiencing at the time of this Taurus full moon. But obviously this has been a long time coming. But the moon is simply illuminating more of this situation for you. So at the moment, this holds promise, this egg, but it's completely shut up. Nobody can see inside it. Nobody knows what's inside it. Its aura and its ability to radiate out is pretty intense. It's pretty amazing. So there will be people that know inside of you that there is this thing that wants to come out. So this is the stuff you're sort of hiding. This is the stuff you're putting on hold. This is this putting yourself in a box and on a shelf. And we have strength here. And this is you, but it's in the reverse position. So you're actually much stronger. You're actually much more capable than you believe yourself to be, than you give yourself credit for, that you even acknowledge, because you've been putting yourself in this box. And a 44, so that's, quite a master number. And it's a lot about co-creating, because the number 4 is about creation and building. And so 44 is doubling those numbers, is, you know, putting two of them together, making it's the mastery of co-creation. And for you, it is in the reverse. So whatever, we've got a circle here, we have an egg here. You are working on, we have a heart. They're all these sealed objects or shapes. And whatever it is that you're working on at the moment, you're working on the inside to then bring it into the world. Hawk also talks about foresight, or the ability to get above a situation. So it feels like for you that maybe you need to get above this situation. Maybe you need to actually fly higher than you know, than you have been capable of, because it feels like you've been quite grounded, and these energies here want you to get above it, because you'll start seeing different things as you move up and beyond what it is that you have been seeing. And it feels like this steady progression to me of, you know, the giraffe is kind of tall and able to see far away. The Black Panther is starting to get above the situation, and then Hawk is right above the situation. So it feels like this steady progression that you'll move to this state. And here you'll be able to take a different perspective on what's happening in your life and in this relationship. And here we have Peacekeeper. Let go of the need to be right. And this is my White Medicine Calf Woman, I think is who it is. And it's talking about the need, let go of the need to be right. And it's talking about being a peacekeeper. But it's not being a peacekeeper and subverting yourself, subjugating yourself and putting yourself down. This is a female expression of someone who, and you may be a male, but it's about how you can be a peacekeeper, how you can be in power, but in a yin way. You can be strong, you can be intuitive, you can know what it is that you're going for or wanting in the world. But it doesn't mean that you fight at every opportunity. You let go of your need to be right, because it's about seeing this bigger picture. It's about understanding that the bigger picture is more important here, because that's the thing that's going to change the way this relationship, whatever it is, it could be work, is working for you at the moment. Now, the next card I have for you is like the forward energies, the freedom energies is kind of what I want to say to you about this card, which is, I have not described it that way to the other groups. So pile 3, yours is Aphrodite, and it is about self-love. And that card and the Peacekeeper card feel like the same kind of energy to me. They feel like they are very proud, feminine energy. So you may be a male, so I'm not going to say you're a woman, but you can see that this person here has their head bowed to her, and she is not subjugating anybody. And that is, it's like an abuse of power. But she is not doing that. She's saying, look at how wonderful I am. I know who I am. I love myself, which is the same type of energy that this female, again, yin warrior energy that is coming in for you. And this is the type of energy that you want to bring in for you. It's not about then turning yourself into what has happened to you. It's about freeing yourself from that. But part of this could be that you did this to yourself. Part of the subjugation of you could have been yourself, because you didn't love yourself. And this is where Spirit wants you to know that in co-creation with Spirit, if you believe that you are not worthy, then that is how people are going to treat you. Whereas if you love yourself, and if you can work on your base chakra, which is about self-love, about loving who you are, because you're lovable, for no other reason than you exist. Not because you're beautiful, not because you're talented, not because you have something special to share with the world, which you do, by the way. So I don't want you to think that you don't. But it's not because of that you should be valued to yourself and to everyone around you. You want, or not, want. You are to be valued for the unique gifts that you have, for simply being here in this earthly body as this divine expression of you. And that's what self-love is about. And I feel very, very sad saying that. I feel like I want to cry. And if you do want to cry, then let it out, because an expression of sadness and grief is definitely stored in our lungs, and we want to let it go, because we don't want to store things in our body. We want to release them and let them go. And perhaps you want to work with the idea of self-love at this time of the full moon, and work on the idea of loving yourself for who you are, not anything else that you bring to anybody else or the world, but you love yourself for your full expression of who you are. And that is simply just being here now. And it's a very empowered state of being, and it feels like a place that you're moving to. So while this message here, and I almost got stuck in that place, like it actually felt so good, this message here for you may be one where, you may not have wanted to hear some of these messages because they were pretty imbalanced. There was a lot of imbalance happening, and there may still be that imbalance happening in your life. There is this strong desire and need for you to work on your base chakra, and your relationship with others and self. A big time. There's a lot of messages in this reading, and for you, I feel like it may pay off to watch this a couple of times, because I feel like there's some subtle energies to pick up on, that are little bits about how you can turn this into being balanced and into being this wonderful sort of feminine or yin warrior, who knows herself and loves herself, or himself, as the case may be. I hope you've enjoyed this reading today. I have enjoyed this reading for you. It's been really, all the readings today have been very deep. And for you, there is this real yin-yang balance for you to achieve at the time of the full moon in Taurus. And that very grounded nature of the root chakra or the base chakra. So really perfect energies to be working at Taurus full moon, and to release at the time of the Taurus full moon. Thanks for watching this video today. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up to let other people know it's a great video to watch. If you enjoy pick a card readings and oracle cards, then please subscribe to my channel, because I do 2 videos a week. One is a pick a card and the other one is oracle based, and probably there'll be some other things in there too. Share with family and friends if you think they'll enjoy it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in the next reading. Bye.